Good afternoon, and today is the This is Fitness Challenge, day 18. And today what I want to talk about is I want to talk about fuel for your body, because although our fitness is going to help us, our workouts, what we're doing in the gym, our exercise, that's going to help us have a strong and healthy body. But if we really want to lose our menopause belly and, tighten and tone that midsection, it really happens in the kitchen. And so I want to talk about the one food that you really need to increase in your nutrition plan. And it's the one thing that most women eat the least of, and that is protein. I know protein is not always the fun food. It's a little bit more difficult to travel with. You're not going to throw a chicken breast in your purse, so you have to be a bit creative. But trust me, when you increase your protein intake, that's going to change your body composition. What my coaching clients are finding is that when we change the composition of the food that we eat, we can change our body composition without starving our bodies, without decreasing calories. Most nutritionists or nutrition plans are going to have you reduce your intake, when in fact most women actually need to increase their intake, which is absolutely fantastic news. But you have to increase your intake with the right sort of the right composition of food. And so I'm often talking about macros, the protein, the fats, the carbohydrates. And most women, unbeknownst to them, unless you're really paying attention, your fat content and your carb content is a little high. And there are some women that are just super scared of eating carbs, when carbs are not the devil. Carbs are actually needed for our brain, for proper thinking, for energy. And so we have to get out of the mentality that any macro is evil. Carbs are not evil. Fat is not evil. Protein is not evil. We need to have the right composition and combination of each. But I can say from my experience with working with so many women that the one macro that is under consumed is protein. And protein helps build and repair lean muscle tissue. And trust me, you want as much muscle on your frame as you can, and you will not get big and bulky with muscle. Muscle is what puts the sexy in your genes. And protein helps to moderate your blood sugar so that you don't have the highs and the lows. So it helps to moderate insulin, and it guards against insulin resistance. And insulin resistance is a situation whereby it can mock menopause symptoms. So a lot of people think, oh, I'm just suffering from menopause, when in fact that you might be suffering from insulin resistance. So how increasing protein intake will help to stave off will help to increase insulin sensitivity and decrease insulin resistance, which is great. It also decreases those energy crashes, because it slows down the when you ingest carbohydrates, the sugar from the carbohydrates goes into your blood sugar, and then your body pumps out insulin to offset the blood sugar. But when you're having protein with that carb, you won't get as high an insulin spike. And you need to know that your body can never be in fat burning mode when you have a surge of insulin. So we want to have rolling hills of insulin. Insulin is a fact of life, and it's actually a great thing, especially after your workout, because it's like the key that opens the cell, so that the repair, the protein, the carbs that your body needs for rebuilding and repairing after your workout it makes the cell very permeable, so that all those nutrients can get back into your system. So insulin isn't evil either. Our body is so magnificent in its design. It's just that we have to know what's going on with our body, so that we can take advantage of things like insulin. I always want insulin after my workout. That's why I even have a little bit of liquid carbs in my protein shake, because that raises my insulin, stops the cortisol drip, and helps my body repair and get re-energized after my workout. So the fact is that none of these things, carbs, protein, fat, insulin, none of them are bad. We just need to have them in the right combination. So like I was saying, when we increase our protein, we can and we balance the other macros out, the carbohydrates and the fats, we can typically change our body composition, albeit slow. But guess what? Slow change is the kind that's maintainable. And when my clients are losing fat or losing weight, that weight does not come back with friends, because it's gone for good, and it's not water weight. So for example, when you go on a keto diet, every gram of carbohydrate that you intake, your body will hold on to 3 to 4 grams of water to help process that carbohydrate. So if you go on a ketogenic diet, you're not eating carbohydrates. So that first week, you're going to drop maybe 5 to 7 pounds. And it's like, wow, this is fantastic. Well, yes, it's encouraging to drop weight, but it's water weight. So then as soon as you start eating carbohydrates again, that water will come back. So it's important to know that sometimes a little information is misleading. So it's nice to know I'm trying to teach you a little bit more about what's going on with your nutrition. And trust me, when you eat a little bit more protein, it will help to satiate you. You won't get the hangries, and it will help to start to change your body composition. Now, typically, you should have between 0.7 and 1 gram of protein per lean pound of body mass. But for most of you, that would probably seem like too much protein, especially in the beginning. So a good rule of thumb is to just try for 100 grams of protein a day, and that's a great start. And you know what? Let me just pull it up. MyFitnessPal, this is your best friend. It really helps I get my clients to food log, because it's a great education. Food logging is very helpful. Studies show that when you food log, that's the first step to making better choices, because are you really going to go weigh and measure potato chips, where it's really easy to eat them from the bag? But if you have to go through the process of weighing, measuring, and then logging your food intake, you're naturally going to moderate it. So also drink a lot of water, not just to help process the protein. A lot of people might think, oh, that much protein might be hard on my kidneys. No, dehydration is hard on your kidneys. So 100 grams of protein a day is not going to be hard on your kidneys, but not drinking enough water is going to be hard on your kidneys, and it makes fat loss more difficult. So go buy yourself a nice glass or a fancy water bottle, and then fill it several times a day. That water bottle needs to be your BFF, all right? So drink lots of water, and that will help to process the protein, but will help to process all the nutrients that you're ingesting. And remember that if you get thirsty, you're well past dehydration. Thirst is not necessarily a good indication of hydration. It's when you're thirsty, you're probably past being dehydrated. So my message today is really that we need to, if we want to look more fit, if we want to be more fit, we need to fuel our bodies. Fitness happens during our workout, but it happens equally in the kitchen. So my curiosity is, what are you eating for protein? I hate to say this, and I don't mean to offend any vegetarians out there, but it is very difficult to get to get lean on a vegetarian plan. And the reason for that is because you need to combine certain foods like beans and rice, for example, to get the right combination of amino acids. So oftentimes, to get a small amount of protein, your carb count is going to be very high. So it is possible, but it is a little bit more challenging. And so, I'm a carnivore, And so I don't mean to offend anybody that's vegetarian out there, but I say that you have a little bit more of a challenge trying to get that protein count in. So my suggestion to you would be to consider having eggs or fish, if that's not offensive to you, or to get, you can get a plant-based protein supplement, hemp, rice protein. There's a variety of egg protein, but that might not work for you. So, consider having a protein supplement for one of your meals during the day. I like to eat my protein more than I like to drink it or to have it in a supplement. Protein bars, for example, can be a great go-to when you're traveling. I always have an RX bar in my backpack, but they can be a little bit like glorified chocolate bars, and they're not always the best quality of protein. And yes, they do in a pinch, and they're much better than an O. Henry bar, but you're much better to get your protein from wholesome whole foods. So lately, I use my protein typically is I'll have that shake after my workout, and that will have a whey supplement, a whey protein supplement, and a carb replacement in it, lots of other kind of things in it. And I'm a chicken and turkey eater, some fish. I do like beef, but it's got a little bit higher fat content, so I might only have that 1 or 2 times a week. But I am a carnivore. I do eat lots of protein. Currently right now, my macro count for protein is at 135 grams, so a little bit more than 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight, because I weigh maybe about 123, between 122 and 125, depending on the day. And but I do quite heavy lifting, and so I find that helps me with greater energy and repair. I want to make sure that I keep the lean muscle tone that I do have. So my talk got a little bit long today, but I'm very passionate about protein, as you can see. Actually, I'm very passionate about nutrition, because it really bothers me when I see you busting your butt, sweating and literally trying to sweat your butt off, and it's not working. So we need to position you for success, and that would be to sweat your butt off, but then do the right thing in the kitchen. So I wanted to give you lots of information to arm you, to educate you, so that you will know that protein is one of your best friends to lose your menopause belly. And of course, I am too. If you need some help with your nutrition, my clients are getting fantastic results. I absolutely love them. This morning I was working with them, so I'm a little bit late today on our This is Fitness Challenge. Thanks for joining me, and I will see you tomorrow. Oh, what's your favorite protein source? I wanted to know that, so if you could write in the comments. I told you mine. Tell me yours.